Have you ever wondered what it's like to be a court interpreter, especially for the deaf community? This role is pivotal in ensuring that justice is accessible and equitable for all, regardless of hearing abilities. Court interpreters for the deaf community are the bridge that allows these individuals to participate fully in various legal proceedings. They can be found in different settings, each with its unique challenges and demands. One such setting is jury deliberations, where the interpreter is strictly there to interpret, never to express personal opinions or observations. Another scenario may involve deaf audience members observing court proceedings. Here, the interpreter acts as a reasonable accommodation under the Americans with Disabilities Act. And let's not forget about juvenile proceedings, which present a different set of challenges due to the unique linguistic patterns of deaf youths. Understanding the role of a court interpreter in these situations is crucial in appreciating the complexities of their work. Imagine being a juror who relies on sign language for communication. How would the court proceedings be made accessible to you? This is where the role of a court interpreter comes into play. In jury deliberations, the court interpreter's duty is to bridge the communication gap between the deaf juror and the rest of the jury. Yet their role is not without boundaries. The interpreter is strictly an impartial conduit of information, translating spoken words into sign language and vice versa. They must refrain from offering personal opinions, ideas, or observations. Their task is to ensure that the deaf juror is able to participate fully in the deliberation process without influencing the process themselves. This might seem like a tightrope walk, balancing the need for accurate translation and impartiality, and indeed it is. This delicate balancing act is a testament to the skill and professionalism of court interpreters. What happens when deaf individuals are in the audience observing the proceedings? This situation calls upon the court interpreter's role as an accommodation interpreter. They stand or sit strategically, their back to the court, interpreting the proceedings for deaf audience members. This service is actually a reasonable accommodation under Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act. However, this role can sometimes lead to misunderstandings. For instance, bailiffs or clerks might misinterpret the interpreter's signing as improper conversations during court. To prevent this, it's crucial to remind the court staff that the interpreter is simply making the court proceedings accessible to deaf members of the public. These interpreters are not there to disrupt the court proceedings, but to ensure everyone present, regardless of their hearing ability, can follow the case. They bridge the communication gap, providing a service that is not just helpful but necessary. Even in the audience, court interpreters play a vital role in ensuring accessibility to justice. Juvenile proceedings bring unique challenges for court interpreters. Can you guess why? Well, let's delve into this together. In a juvenile court setting, we often encounter deaf youths who present unique linguistic patterns. These patterns can be quite different from Standard American Sign Language, or ASL, due to a variety of factors, including the child's educational background, family environment, and personal development. This necessitates the need for a specialist, known as a deaf interpreter. A deaf interpreter is a unique professional who is themselves deaf and possesses a deep mastery of ASL and visual gestural language features. They are specialists in their field, capable of working effectively in settings where communication issues are complex or high risk. Their work is primarily done in collaboration with sign language interpreters who can hear, creating a team that ensures effective and accessible interpreting service. When a deaf interpreter is needed, the court interpreters will collaborate with you to ensure that placement and pacing are effective for communication purposes. They'll want to have a brief discussion with you and counsel to address any logistical and procedural issues that might arise when a matter is being interpreted by the deaf specialist and the court interpreter. Now let's consider another scenario. What if the young person involved in the proceedings isn't deaf, but their parents are? These parents have a statutory right to be present and participate in the adjudication. In this case, the interpreters function as court interpreters and should be sworn in, even though the parents are often in the audience. This positioning preserves the role of the interpreter as the proceedings interpreter versus the personal interpreter of the parents. However, it's crucial that the parents can see the interpreters. Therefore, identifying an appropriate and stationary location for the interpreters is important. This can be determined by the court in cooperation with the parents. In juvenile proceedings, the role of the court interpreter extends beyond simple translation, requiring a deeper understanding of unique communication needs.